Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Timmy Kebza James. For our new subscribers, you're welcome, and for the old ones, you're all welcome. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to cut and sew a kimono jacket. It's actually an oversized jacket, guys. So just stick with me, guys. Let's get into the video proper. We'll be needing for this tutorial of our kimono, we'll be needing a tape, a piece of chalk, a scissors, and a ruler. So guys, I'm using this fabric from my Ankara collection. Look at this, guys. This is so beautiful. Like, I'm so in love with this fabric, and the fabric is a unisex print. Actually, a male can use it and a female can also use this. So guys, what you'll be doing now is I'm going to be needing about 3 yards of this fabric for the style that I'm going to be sewing. So the measurement I'll be needing is, I'm going to take my measurement from this point of my neck here, the midpoint of my neck at the back, then through my shoulder to the sleeve, how long I want the sleeve to be. So I kind of want a long sleeved jacket, so I'm going to be using 33 inches. So from here to my sleeve is 33 inches. So, and then we'll be needing our bust and hip measurement, but we won't really be needing it as such because we're actually going to be giving a lot of ease allowance, since it's a big jacket that to an extent it can overlap, or I can decide to leave it free. Like, to fold my fabric into 4. Now, to determine how much I folded into 4, that 33 inches we measured from the back of the midpoint of my neck at the back through my shoulder to my sleeve is what I multiplied by 4, and I cut out material according to that quantity. Then I now folded it into 4. So I have 4 panels like this. I have this cut into 4 pieces like so. So what I'm going to be doing now is to find from the beginning point here to, I'm going to find my bust point. So I'm going to mark that point here. I'm just going to go ahead and mark that point like so. Then I'll be ruling that into a straight line. So that point is going to give me a guide of what my sleeve should actually sort of be like. So on this point, I'm going to divide my hip measurement, which is 46, divide by 4 is 12 inches. So I don't want it to be exactly my hip like so. So I'm going to add 5 inches to that, or you can even do 6 inches if you want, depending on how big you want. But just bear in mind that if you're adding 5 inches, when you're done sewing, that's like 20 inches in total. So I have my hip measurement divided by 4, which is 12 inches. I have it marked here. I'm going to be adding another 5 inches for ease, so that it can be able to wrap in front of my body. So I have it here plus 5. Then I'm going to add 1 inch for sewing allowance like so. So that's what I have now over there. So I'm going to just measure this out like so, which is 17 inches totally. So I'm going to shift the material to the hem side of my dress, of my jacket, sorry. I'm used to making dresses, so I'm going to mark that 17 inches also at the hem like so. I'm going to mark 17 inches like so. Then I'm going to be connecting everything I'm going to be connecting it in a straight line. Then I'm also going to be moving this Guys, I forgot to tell you, I did end up using that 33 inches because I discovered it was going to consume a lot of material. So I'm going to make my sleeve shorter than that 23 inches. So I'm just going to adjust my fabric properly here. Then I extend this line. So this is eventually going to be my sleeve. Now by the time I extend it like that, I'm going to use my French curve to sort of give it a curve, so that, because this is going to be my armhole point eventually, so just that curve so that I don't have any sharp areas around there. So I'm just going to cut this out before I make my neckline. When you're doing this, if your table is as small as mine, if your cutting table is as small as mine, you can just go ahead and cut this out on the floor. But I'm actually just managing the table for the sake of this tutorial. Now I'm just going to go ahead and chop this on even side to make it even. So for now, this is what we have. So I'm going to be cutting out my back neckline. So I'm using 4 inches by 1. So my back neckline is out. So I'm going to take out one panel that I'm going to be using for the front side. So I'm moving my back neckline away. Then for my front neckline, this is what I'm just going to do, because I'm going to be adding a band to the front panel. So I'm just going to be cutting this neckline from where I started in like a form of a V-neck, but I'm going to just go ahead and do that like so. Then I'm going to cut open this side because it's a jacket. So this is what we have. So this is one side, this is the other side. Then I have the back panel like this. So for the collar side, I just went ahead to cut 2 long strips that measures about 6 inches, and I folded it in half like so. 2 long strips that are long enough to start from the neck of the dress. So that is it about the collar side of the dress. I just cut out 6 inches and folded it in half. Then I gave it a good press, as you can see. If you like, you can fuse it if you like. So I don't know, I might fuse it, I might not fuse it. So that is just it about that. So let's get into sewing. So guys, we are going to be coupling our jackets together. So we have our two front panels here and the back panel and the collar panel which I showed you earlier. So I'm going to be picking my back panel now. So I'll just open that. So the back panel is actually just a triangular formed panel. So I'm going to open that. Then on the shoulder line, I'm going to grab one of my front panels. Then I'll align my right side facing each other. Then I'm going to join my shoulder line. So just a straight stitch across. I'm just going to align it. Make sure that everything is aligned nicely. So I've done that for one shoulder. I'm going to grab the other piece and do it for the same thing for the second shoulder. So right sides facing each other. This is my neckline on the back piece. This is the beginning of my shoulder point. So I'm going to place my front piece like so. And I also go ahead and stitch. So I have it attached like this. So I'm going to attach the lower part of the sleeve. This is the sleeve side. So I'm just going to join this, the front and the back, from the sleeve down to the hem. I'm going to be leaving a slit on this jacket, or I'm just closing it up. I don't need the slit anyways. So let me just close that up. So using 1/2 inch sewing allowance, I'm just going to be joining everything together. Remember that curve we made on the armhole side? I'll also be following that curve nicely. Just make sure that everything aligns. That's the most important thing about sewing. Make sure that all your points aligns. Guys, the design of this print is it has just been giving me so much joy. I'm so pleased with the print and I love it so much. So don't know about you. If you're interested, you can actually send me a DM on my Instagram. That's one side is done. Just going to go ahead and do close up the second part of it. So guys, the jacket is this simple. So at this point we are partly done. So I'm going to just turning it over so I can show you. So this is the jacket. So at this point I'm going to hem the jacket before I come over to attach the hem on the sleeve and to attach the collar piece. So I'm going to be hemming this jacket by 2 inches. That's double folding it 1 inch, like so. You can go ahead and iron that down before doing it. So I'm just doing this to show you. So guys, this is our collar piece. It's just a straight piece like I showed you. I initially said I don't know if I was going to fuse it or not. Guys, I ended up fusing it, as you can see, but make sure that the fusing is really light, because this is a really light fusing, so that it doesn't get too thick on your neck, but you really want it like to have more structure than the bodies of the jacket. So what I'm going to do, I have 2 pieces of this because the length of one might not be enough, and this is the total length of my fabric, so that's why I'm making it 2. So I'm just going to join the both of them together, right side facing each other, like so. I'm going to sew. So now guys, I'm using this much allowance to join it because I want to conceal that black Ankara border that is there. So you really don't have to use the same sewing allowance as I did there. So that's just it. So these points that I have now, this is my seam line point. I'm just going to open the seam like so. Then I'm going to use my scissors. You can still iron it, but I find this method better for me, so I'm just going to use my scissors to smooth it out like so before I bend it like so. So you can see. So I'm going to just go ahead and grab my kimono like this. Now I've turned over this kimono to the right side. So on the right side of the kimono, I'm going to start from the midpoint of the back piece so that I can place this I can place my collar over it. So I'm just going to go ahead and start sewing from the midpoint. I'll just go ahead and align that point, then I'll start sewing. So I'm going to sew from the neck, from the collar side down to the through the neckline, the front neckline. So I'm sewing from that back neckline across my front neckline, down to the hem of my jacket. I'm just going to be sewing that. So guys, when I was done with that side, I turned over to the second half of the neckline. Kimono at the moment, you can see this is the collar piece. Everything is coming out nicely, so it's remaining the sleeve for me to finish off. So I'm going to cut something like a like I did to the collar. I'm going to do the same thing and use it to finish off the sleeve. It's totally optional at this point. You can actually just fold it, but I just feel I want to do something that matches the collar, so that's why I'm doing that. Piece like this, which I also went ahead to iron and fusing to it and interfacing. So I'm going to fold it over like this. So when I fold it like this, I'm going to come over with my sleeve just to know the allowance I need. So I'm just going to measure the allowance I need like this, then I sew. Just going to go ahead and close that. I'll do the same to the end point of it like so. Just go ahead and trim off the excess allowance you have there. Then just like I did to that collar piece, I'm going to open the seam, then use my scissors to flatten that out. I'm going to fold that in half, and now fold that like this. You can see, so it has become a band for my sleeve. So starting from where I have this seam line, I'm going to match my sleeve with the seam line. So it's still right side facing right side, and I'm going to be sewing it around the sleeve. Now you remember I said I didn't have enough fabric to make my length 33 inches long, the length of my sleeve, you remember. So that's why I'm using this method to that, because it's also going to add to the length of the sleeve. It might not be the 33 inches, but to an extent it would make up for that. But if you still want your sleeve short, you can just go ahead and hem your sleeve. So I'm going to go ahead and go over that step one more time for the benefit of those who didn't understand from the first time. So I'm going to grab my sleeve like so. So I'm just going to use that to measure the allowance I'll be needing for to close this. Trim off the excess allowance, and I'll grab it like so. And if you notice, there's an ironing crease here, so I'm just going to bend it like this. So that's just what I'm going to be doing. See, so it's just like a band at the moment. Then where the seam line is, I'm just going to grab that, then I grab the sleeve, then I'm just going to go ahead and put my sleeve inside of this like so. Then I'll match my seam lines. All the seam lines will be matched together. Now the right side is on the right side, so I'm going to be sewing on the wrong side. So I'm just going to sew it round. So guys, look at the finished look of our jacket. I've gone ahead to overlock the raw seams. You can see from here, I went ahead to use my overlocking machine to overlock that. Look at this, guys. See the sleeve, see how beautiful it looks, guys. This is so pretty. I think I'm going to make a matching pant for this. So guys, this is the back side. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I have a new video up on the channel. And guys, whenever you recreate this, please don't forget to tag me on all social media platforms. James on Instagram, James on Facebook. I would love to see your recreations. See you in my next channel, guys. Bye.